Right now, a massive tropical system is building across northern Australia, and by Sunday, it is going to slam into multiple cities with over 300 millimetres of rain in just 24 hours. If you live anywhere from Darwin to Brisbane, what happens in the next 48 hours could flood your streets, cut your power, and turn your Sunday plans upside down. But here is the thing most weather reports will not tell you. There are 5 cities that will barely see a single drop of rain this Sunday, and one of them might be yours. Stay with me, because at the 5-minute mark, I am going to reveal the exact hour the storms peak in every major city, so you know precisely when to stay indoors and when it is safe to head out. Before we go any further, drop a comment right now with the city or town where you are living. I read every single comment and I will reply with a specific forecast for your area. Do it now before you forget. Now let me hit you with a number that will make your jaw drop. 7.7 million square kilometres. That is the size of the weather battlefield we are covering today, Sunday the 8th of February 2026. And across that enormous stretch of land, the temperature difference between the hottest and coolest capital cities this Sunday will be a staggering 23 degrees. One city will hit 45 degrees, another will barely crack 21, and one capital city has a 78% humidity reading that will make the air feel like you are breathing through a hot, wet towel. Can you guess which one? I will reveal it in just a moment. But first, let me tell you about the city that is going to have the most dangerous weather conditions this Sunday, and it is not the one you think. Cairns, far north Queensland. This is ground zero for the most extreme weather hitting Australia this Sunday. And I need you to hear these numbers carefully because they are genuinely alarming. 322 millimetres of average rainfall in February alone. That is nearly a third of a metre of water falling from the sky in just 1 month. On Sunday, temperatures will push up to 31 degrees, but the real enemy is the humidity, sitting above 75 to 78%. Step outside and within 30 seconds, you are drenched in sweat. That is not an exaggeration. That is a medical reality. Here is what most people do not understand about Cairns right now. The rain does not fall gently. These are full-blown tropical deluges that hammer down for hours with wind gusts that will rip an umbrella right out of your hands. And after each storm, the ocean gets churned up with sediment, which means if you were planning to see the Great Barrier Reef this Sunday, underwater visibility could drop dramatically. Your best window is between storms if you are lucky enough to catch one. But hold that thought on Cairns, because there is a twist coming about Brisbane that changes everything. Do not skip ahead. I will get there in 60 seconds. Let me take you north first to the city that answered our humidity question, Darwin. 78% humidity, the most suffocating capital city in Australia this Sunday. Temperatures will hit 32 to 34 degrees during the day and refuse to drop below 25 to 26 degrees overnight. There is literally no relief, not even at midnight. Here is the pattern you need to know if you are in Darwin this Sunday. The morning, clear skies, maybe some sunshine, your only window to do anything outdoors. Then around midday, enormous cumulonimbus clouds start building, towering into the sky like giant white anvils. By 3 in the afternoon, they crack open. Lightning, thunder, and absolutely torrential rain. A single Darwin thunderstorm can dump 50 to 100 millimetres of rain in just 2 hours. Let me put that in perspective. That is more rain in one afternoon than some southern cities receive in an entire month. Storm timing for Darwin this Sunday. Start time, approximately midday when clouds begin building. Peak intensity, 3 to 5 in the afternoon. End time, typically by early evening, though isolated showers can linger into the night. Plan your entire Sunday around that window. And one critical safety warning for Darwin. This is peak season for box jellyfish and saltwater crocodiles. Do not swim at natural beaches, rivers or creeks unless there are clear safety signs. The swimming lagoon at the waterfront precinct is your safest option, and honestly, it is quite nice. Now remember, I promised you a twist about Brisbane. Here it is. February is not just a wet month for Brisbane. It is the single wettest month of the entire year. More than 20 rain days, 172.3 millimetres of total rainfall. And the storms that roll through Brisbane are not like ordinary rain. They explode out of nowhere in the afternoon, absolutely bucketing down with dramatic lightning displays. And then 20 minutes later, the sun pops back out like nothing happened. Classic subtropical chaos. Brisbane temperatures on Sunday will sit around 28 degrees with an overnight low of 22 degrees. Hot, muggy and unpredictable. The sea temperature peaks at 27 degrees in February, so the water is beautifully warm, but here is the danger no one talks about enough. After heavy downpours, localised flooding hits low-lying areas, underpasses and roads along the Brisbane River fast. Every Queenslander knows the golden rule, and if you do not know it yet, memorise it now. If it is flooded, forget it. Do not drive through floodwater. People die doing that every single year. Storm timing for Brisbane this Sunday. Watch the skies from late morning. Peak storm activity typically hits between 2 and 5 in the afternoon. Conditions usually settle by evening. Get your outdoor plans done early. Down on the Gold Coast, just south of Brisbane, expect similar conditions with sea temperatures at their warmest, 27.2 degrees. Perfect for surfing if you time it between storms. Do not miss the next section because I am about to reveal the one Australian city that is having an almost perfect day this Sunday, and it might surprise you. But first, let me cover the two cities that sit right in the middle. Not extreme heat, not extreme rain, just enough uncertainty to keep you guessing, Sydney. Australia's biggest city, 25 degrees on Sunday with an overnight low of 21. Now, here is what makes Sydney interesting this Sunday. It is actually quite pleasant by summer standards, where heat waves can push the mercury past 35 degrees. This is a day where you can go outdoors without getting absolutely belted by the heat. But February is one of Sydney's wetter months. 86.2 millimetres of average rainfall spread across roughly 23 rain days. That means there is a fair chance of a shower on almost any given day, especially late afternoon into evening. Winds around 24 kilometres per hour will give you a breeze at the beach, but might get annoying if you are trying to set up a picnic. Storm timing for Sydney this Sunday. Morning is your safest bet for outdoor activities. Afternoon showers are most likely between 3 and 6 in the evening. Plan your beach time for before lunch. Inland New South Wales will be significantly hotter, with temperatures pushing to 32 to 35 degrees out west. And the ultraviolet index in Sydney still absolutely cranking in February. Slip on a shirt, slop on the sunscreen, slap on a hat. That is not a suggestion. That is survival gear. Now, Melbourne, the city famous for giving you 4 seasons in one day, and even in summer, it can still throw a curveball that makes you question every outfit choice. Sunday forecast shows 24 degrees with a low of 18. A gentle southerly breeze at 20 kilometres per hour, bringing cool air off the bay. This is honestly a ripper of a summer day. Not too hot, not too cool, but Melbourne in February still dishes up anywhere from 3 to 8 rainy days. The chance of rain on Sunday sits at 54%. Chuck a compact umbrella in your bag. Sea temperatures in Port Phillip Bay peak in February at 18.8 degrees, which is as warm as it gets, but still cold enough to catch your breath when you first wade in. Storm timing for Melbourne this Sunday. Rain could come at any time given Melbourne's unpredictable nature, but conditions look largely settled. If rain arrives, it will likely be brief and passing. Now here it is, the city I promised you, the one having an almost perfect Sunday. Perth. Perth on the 8th of February 2026 is shaping up to be an absolute dream. And the numbers tell the story. February in Perth is the driest month of the entire year, just 2.1 rain days for the whole month, a total of only 9 millimetres of rainfall. Compare that to Brisbane's 172 millimetres and Cairns' 322 millimetres. Perth is basically living on a different planet. Temperatures will range from 19 to 20 degrees in the early morning, climbing to 31 to 35 degrees by midday. Clear skies, blazing sun. And then in the afternoon, the famous sea breeze that locals affectionately call the Fremantle Doctor sweeps in from the coast, delivering sweet relief from the midday heat. When the Fremantle doctor rolls in on a scorching Perth afternoon, there is genuinely no better feeling. This is the day to hit Cottesloe or Scarborough Beach, wander through Kings Park with those stunning views over the Swan River, or take the ferry to Rottnest Island for a selfie with the world-famous quokkas. But here is the one catch. The ultraviolet index in Perth during February regularly hits 11 plus, which is classified as extreme. SPF 50 plus sunscreen is non-negotiable. A wide-brimmed hat is essential. Find shade around the middle of the day. You do not want to end up looking like a cooked lobster. Inland Western Australia, particularly the Pilbara and Kimberley up north, will surge past 40 degrees with big thunderstorms and flood risk. Adelaide is next, the laid-back capital of South Australia, sitting between rolling hills and sprawling vineyards. Sunday temperatures between 28 and 32 degrees, depending on one critical factor, wind direction. If the wind blows from the north, bringing desert air, temperatures can spike past 40 degrees during extreme events. If it comes from the south or southwest, carrying cool marine air, things stay much more pleasant. Sea temperature in Adelaide peaks at 20 degrees in February. Rainfall is quite low, making Adelaide another strong option for outdoor plans this Sunday. Now let me take you to the opposite end of the temperature scale. Hobart, capital of Tasmania, Australia, coolest state even in the middle of summer. Temperatures on Sunday will range from 12 to 13 degrees in the early morning, rising to a pleasant 21 to 24 degrees during the middle of the day. For many people, that is absolutely perfect weather. Warm enough for a short sleeve shirt, but smart enough to bring a light jacket. Sea temperatures average 16.5 degrees. You would need serious courage to dive into those waters. Sunrise in Hobart comes at 6:11 in the morning and sunset is not until 8:36 in the evening. Over 14 hours of daylight, one of the great perks of a Tasmanian summer, perfect for a walk up Mount Wellington or a cruise on the Derwent River. Canberra, the national capital, sits inland at 580 metres elevation, creating a massive temperature swing. Daytime on Sunday will reach 28 to 32 degrees, but overnight drops to 13 to 16 degrees, a potential swing of 15 to 18 degrees in a single day. Afternoon thunderstorms possible when hot inland air collides with moisture from the east. Newcastle, the big port city north of Sydney, is experiencing its wettest month with about 14.7 rain days and 79 millimetres of total rainfall. Temperatures range between 20 and 28 degrees with high humidity. The beaches are stunning and the locals are well used to the February rhythm of shower, sunshine, shower again. And finally, the vast outback, the sunburnt heart of this continent. Daytime temperatures across the central deserts, Alice Springs, Uluru, the Simpson Desert, regularly smash through 35 to 40 degrees and can push to a brutal 45. That is the hottest reading anywhere in Australia this Sunday. Rainfall in the outback is wildly unpredictable. Nothing for weeks. Then suddenly a massive thunderstorm dumps tens of millimetres in hours, turning dry creek beds into raging torrents. Desert flash flooding is extremely dangerous. 1 minute the road is bone dry, the next minute it is underwater. If you are travelling through the outback this Sunday, carry at least 5 to 10 litres of water per person per day. Have a satellite phone because mobile coverage is non-existent in many areas. And always tell someone your itinerary. So here is your complete timing guide. Darwin storms peak between 3 and 5 in the afternoon. Cairns heavy rain possible all day with strongest bursts in the afternoon. Brisbane storms typically hit between 2 and 5 in the afternoon. Sydney showers most likely between 3 and 6 in the evening. Melbourne, low probability but possible at any time. Perth, almost zero chance of rain. Adelaide, dry unless northerly winds trigger instability. Hobart, light showers possible at any time but nothing severe. Canberra, afternoon thunderstorms possible but generally dry. Remember the 3 golden rules of an Australian summer. Slip, slop, slap, Protect your skin from ultraviolet radiation with sunscreen, a hat and protective clothing. Stay hydrated, especially if you are spending time outdoors. And keep checking the latest updates from the Bureau of Meteorology to stay safe and informed. Now, I need you to do two things. First, drop a comment with the name of your city or town. I will personally reply with specific conditions for your area on Sunday. Second, if you found this useful, share it with someone who needs to know what is coming. A neighbour, a family member, anyone heading outdoors this Sunday. And here is what is coming next. Monday and Tuesday are shaping up to bring a significant shift in the weather pattern across southeastern Australia. A cold front is pushing in from the Southern Ocean and the temperature drops could be dramatic. Some cities may see a 15-degree plunge in 24 hours. I will have the full breakdown in the next video, including the exact hour the cold front hits each city. You will not want to miss that one. Stay safe.